Boom. Button is live. Alex Popov, greatest sprinter in history. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing, Brett?
I'm good, man. It's always good to see you. And thanks for recognizing that I've finally lost all of my hair. I appreciate that.
Well, you have some here, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I got to hang on to that. That's okay. But listen, man, you look good. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you, Brett, and good to see all who joined your broadcast today.
Yeah. Now, listen. This came about. I was riding my bike yesterday, and I was thinking, who's the one person that I need to talk to about this young man, David Popovici? And of course, your name came up in my head because the comparisons are there. Everybody keeps saying he looks like a young Alex Popov. And I thought to myself, well, that's okay for everybody else to say, but what does Alex Popov think about this?
Well, as soon as I got your request for today's show, and I'm like, oh, that could be an interesting subject to talk about because we've discussed with the guys here from the Swimming Society. We've discussed this performance, and I've discussed it with my sons. And I was really impressed with David, with his performance. And when I got your request, I had a look on the YouTube at his swim, and
Hmm.
which was actually much more impressive than just talking about him. And first impression, you see, he's still 17, if I'm not mistaken, huh?
Yeah, I think he turns 18 next month.
Next month, yeah, 14th or the 15th of September, if off the
Hmm.
top of my head.
Yeah.
But you know what really kind of struck me is the way he looks. He looks slim and relaxed.
Hmm.
His muscles, he's not that physically, built up yet.
Hmm.
He's relaxed. His muscles are stretched. He's got a lot of plasticity in the water and on the land.
Hmm.
What he is lacking, to my understanding, is a good start.
Hmm.
He doesn't do a good start on his world record performance, but this is where he can certainly improve. But the way he performs, the way he swims, is good. I
Hmm.
really, actually, I loved it. I
Mm.
loved it because he's relaxed. His stroke is long, good rhythm, and when he starts accelerating, he doesn't increase the stroke rate. He increases the power. You know
Mm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is where he gets his acceleration from. And the critical moment on the 100 freestyle is the last 25 and maybe last 15 meters in particular. And I had a close look at those meters, and man, he just keeps on pushing. Huh? He just keeps on going. He doesn't get tired. He doesn't
Hmm.
lose the length of the stroke. He doesn't lose the power. And this
Hmm.
is this is the key. This is the key to a 100-meter freestyle.
Yeah, I mean, you and I have had these discussions about what made you so great, and you always said that you and Gennady would emphasize the last 25, maintaining length, maintaining speed, and he seems to be doing that just as good as you in your prime, and yet he's 17 years old. Is it crazy to think of a 17-year-old that good at that age?
Well, for me, it is also crazy to understand, this kind of speed, this kind of seconds, 46.8. When I did 46.7 short course, I thought I was like, wow, this was something, something, something. But now kids, swimmers go 44, sub 45 easily.
Mm.
And to me, to understand it, it's no, I cannot simply accept it.
I can't either,
Until
Alex. I'm telling you, I'm like, I don't know. Listen, the
what?
first time I had a conversation with him was when he was 16. He went 47.3. And I had to admit to him, Alex, I said, I thought you were on drugs, honestly. Like I was, like I hadn't seen him swim. Now, and then I watched the tape and you're like, okay, well, obviously this guy has extreme talent. And then you listen to him talk and you understand he has an incredible maturity. and then you hear about his coach and the way he trains him, and they're doing all the right things. So like, look, the drug talk is obviously ridiculous. It's out the window. It's nonsense. But to think a 16, 17-year-old is swimming at the level of the great Alex Popov, it really blew my mind. I couldn't wrap my head around it for a long period of time.
But you see, what I cannot understand, you know, the how do you call it, pain tolerance threshold?
Mm-hmm.
How much pain can they tolerate? Because when I used to perform, you know, when we used to swim, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I could understand how to behave, how to control myself at those speeds. But what they have to do now, I had to scratch the back of my head and, you know, simply have no answer for that.
Mm. Yeah, I'm with you on that, man.
But going out in 22.7 and coming back in 24.1. What is my, you know, really struck me is his back 50, you know, second 50 performance. Because the ideal, let's say, ideal split for the 100 is, you know, when you have 1.5 second difference between the first and the second 50.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to be doing just about right, you know, he's 1.4, 1.3 something. And he still has a lot of potential for the second 50, huh? He still has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
If he improves the second 50, means that he can go up faster, and he still can maintain the second 50 without losing the control of the technique, and, you know, and I really have no idea where his limit is.
Yeah, I don't know his limit either. Let's have a look at the swim really quickly.
David Popovici broke the European record yesterday, setting up 46.98. He's the world champion. The world record is 46.91. Second here, Euro,
$46. Oh my God, what the hell? 46. Listen, when I watch that, I feel like I'm watching Alex Popov from many years ago. Do you see the similarities in the technique between the two of you?
Fred, you know, I don't really like, you know, comparing myself to some other swimmers. You know, they're individual, you know,
Right.
all of them are individual. Right. And you can comparing, you know, I think, you know, technically, in terms of recovery, in terms of high elbow, maybe I swam differently. But the way he was pushing, honestly, I have no idea how they swim 46.8. How he swam 46.8. I don't know. I cannot imagine the level of pain tolerance that you have to achieve. Because going out in 22.7, that I can understand, but coming back in 24.1, this is where you have to kind of think what to do.
Well, we were around when we saw Peter go 47 for the first time, and that kind of blew our mind. Like we didn't think at that time. Oh no, we hadn't seen 47, right? Like, and then seeing it for the first time is like, oh wow, I mean, somebody actually did it. Now these young kids, they see 47 all the time. So is this part of the new revolution where they're just being brought up, seeing this happening, and so it's much more believable for them? Do you think that's it?
I think it's more psychological than physical. Actually, it's a psychological fear. You know, when you look at the scoreboard and you see 46, 47, you know, from the young age, you know, you kind of accept it as normal performances. And when you start training, you probably start thinking about 45 and 44 second performances. And so this is, I think, you know, how David was brought up, and he saw 46, no, not 46, sorry, 46, 48, 47 second performances. And then his coach was smart enough, was wise enough to tell him that, listen, you know, 48 is not enough anymore. 47 might get you to the podium. What we need to think about is how to get to 46 second barrier, how to break 47. And this is what can guarantee you at least a gold medal.
Yeah. By the way, I told him yesterday that I was going to have this conversation with you, and he wanted me to say hello to you. He's obviously a big fan of yours. So, have
Say
you
hello to
ever?
David for me.
No, well, he'll see this. So, have you ever had a chance to talk to him at all?
No, not yet. No. But sooner or later, we will definitely meet somewhere. And, you know, I'll be glad to meet him and shake his hand. I've heard that his hand is good size.
I'm sure he's got a big hand. Yeah, I mean his wingspan, when he stretches out his wingspan, it reminds me. You know, the first time I saw you, I don't know if I've told this story, but the first time I saw you was at the Institute of Sport, and you had a water polo ball, and you're with Vladimir Prushenko. Is that him?
Ushinenko, yeah.
Yeah, and you had a water polo. I think I've told this story, but you had a water polo ball and you were throwing it to each other. And I walked in from 30 meters away, and I was walking towards you, and you were up here with this water polo ball throwing it. I've never seen a human as big as you before in terms of your length and your reach and your hand. I was like, that's the most intimidating man I've ever seen. So I imagine that's kind of what these guys are looking at with David now. His length is just extraordinary, right?
But you know this guy Gustavo Borges.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he has big long arms.
Gustavo, yeah.
My arm span was about 209 or 211. I don't remember. His arm span was, or still is, I suppose, about 225.
Yeah, crazy big boys. But what about this? Someone said in the comments section a minute ago, well, how would Alex Popov deal with David Popovici in the ready room? If you guys were in the same ready room for the 100-meter final, how would you deal with a young man like this coming up?
Well. This could be a good made-up story, but honestly, I have no idea. I have no idea how to accept, like mentally accept 46 seconds. And secondly, thank God, I didn't have a chance to meet this kind of young swimmers when I was swimming.
Yeah. Well, I had to meet you, so I had to deal with it. But what about this? You look at the swim, and you do see improvements. You talked about his dive, somewhere he could improve. Do you see any other places where he could make improvements?
His tone is not so bad. His tone is good. What I didn't do, I didn't count his stroke. His strokes on the second 50, on the first and the second 50. This is what he has to do. He has to control the stroke count as well. That will help him to control the technique even better and to another level. And to play maybe a little bit with the stroke count and to see where his potential is and where he can still improve, second 50. What he has, what I've noticed is that he has, some swimmers, they have, when they kick, you can see that their feet are appearing from the water. What he's doing, he's kicking under the water. It's like, having a motorboat which propeller sticks above the water, and the propeller is not very efficient. When you put your feet underwater and you don't break the surface, this is where the efficiency of your kicking is, and this is what he's doing what I saw during the race, and this is very good sign.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Man, he has when they made the turn, you know, from the very first stroke, he just started to push, and he kept on pushing. You know, he didn't fade. He didn't fade. I didn't even see that he got tired on the last 20 or so meters. He just kept on pushing. He just kept on going, and he didn't fade. And this is what a good sign. This is where his potential is, you know, to improve. You know,
He's playing with the 50 and the 400 as you know, real events for himself. Is this too big of a range to look at in terms of being great at the 50 and the 400? You think
400 might be a bit too far, but 200 is definitely. He is coming from the longer end. He is coming from the 200. He's striking the 100 from the 200 meter kind of view. You know what I mean? From the strategy. He's coming down the hill, not climbing up the hill. And yeah, let's say in terms of endurance, in terms of aerobic work, he's well trained. He's well trained, and of course, what he will mature. He will, I mean, like, become a man. You know, in terms of muscular mass and, you know, physical appearance. He will become bigger. What he has to do, he has to maintain that flexibility, that plasticity that he still has now, and this is the key to his success. You know, to be able to maintain, you know, that stroke rate, that length of the stroke, that power that he's producing. He doesn't need to build up a lot of mass, you know, body mass, a lot of muscular. You know, he just needs that plasticity, you know, being like kind of like a fish, you know, like gliding through the water.
Right. There's a good question here from Fred Vernu. I'm interested in your views about how to breathe during a 46 swim, especially the first 25. What would you say? It seems to me like David is taking in a lot of oxygen. This seems to be the right approach, right?
For the first 25, because physiologically, you know, like during the first 9-10 seconds of work, of high intensity work, you don't get kind of lactated, so you can take no breathing whatsoever, and it will not affect your systems.
Really?
What you have to do to control your breathing afterwards. He seemed to me that he wasn't, well, you know, he was swimming the way he was most comfortable with. You know, if he was taking that many breaths that he took, you know, that's okay. I don't have anything against it. But actually that might be another opportunity for him to improve. You know, if he could control the breathing, at least on the first 50, maybe take 2, 3, maybe 4, only 2, 3, or 4 breaths, and then start accelerating. Maybe that will help him as well. That will help him, you know, to go out faster without kind of getting tired too much. You know what I mean?
Right. What about this, Alex? Do you think now that we all need to start thinking about the possibility of a 45-second 100 freestyle?
45, let's put it that way. You know, 1.5 second difference. You know, 24 flat on the way back, 22.5, 46.5. We have if we talk sub 24 on the way back, 23.8, 23.8, 22.3, 23.7, 20. Yeah, possible 22.2, 23.7. There you go. Simple calculation.
Yeah, it is. And that's what it is, really. It's calculation. And you have to calculate. You have to say, all right, how can I go out as fast as possible by being able to maintain coming back as fast as possible? Look, we're very close to, I mean, we've seen some of these low 22 front end swims already, and now we're getting very close to this 23-second 50. So it doesn't seem that far out of reach, even though for us, we understand, both you and I who swam the 100, you clearly much better than me, but the pain involved in something like that is immense. So to manage the balance, and that's what I talked to David about, is like in the final here at the Europeans, where he finally broke the world record, it seemed like he got the balance right. At the World Championships and other places, he seemed to be experimenting with the front and the back, and then finally it seemed like he put it all together.
It's just called experience.
Right.
It's just called experience. And I think, at these competitions in Rome, he had no psychological pressure or being on his shoulders, and he could, let's say, he could swim, he could perform his best race, the one that he probably visualized in his life well before he did this. And he was free. He was free to perform. He had no pressure whatsoever. And this is what we saw.
Right. Let me ask you this: you became Olympic champion at a very young age. You became world record holder way before your career had finished. So now, for this young man who is now the fastest man in history at 17, what would your advice be to him now, moving forward in his career, you think?
Well, let's say, to be able to perform well, perform fast, and win not all the time, but the win when you want and when you need it. You need to think what is helping you to do this and what is disturbing you. And those factors that are against you and not in favor of your competition performances, those ones you have to kind of delete from your life. Be it temporary or be it permanently, it's up to you. But concentrate on your own performance, first of all. Don't look around. Don't look who is next to you, who is on the starting block, the one after the next swimmer, who is in the final with you. When you're getting together in that call room, if you are the champion, if you are the leader, you have to perform like one. And he has to remember that at this point, he becomes a target for the rest of the sprinting world, men's sprinting world, because he's the world record holder, and everybody is aiming at either beating his world record, becoming better than him, or beating him. Doesn't matter what result at the end of the day they will get. And that he has to remember that he will be bearing, he will be carrying some extra cargo, some extra weight on his shoulders now.
Yeah, I agree. Good advice, for sure. And it'll be interesting to see. But so far, he's handled it very well. He's actually in Lima, Peru right now at I think it's the World Junior Championships. So he's continuing to swim. In terms of breaks, was it necessary for you to take breaks? After these long periods of racing and performing like this, did you need the mental break or not?
I did need those breaks, because at the end of the season you feel like exhausted and you feel tired, and you just want to go and see your parents at the end of the day. See your mom, see your dad, and recharge your batteries, and then get back to training. With him, I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe he's at this age, when he's so young, maybe he recovers much quicker than we used to do. We used to live in different centuries.
Yeah. It's a different time now, man, for sure. Yeah. So, well, listen, I appreciate your time here. This has been awesome, just thinking about this world record performance and getting your view. Obviously, the greatest sprinter in history, man. And that's the way it's going to be for a very long time. And I've got a lot of respect for you and what you did and how you did it, and how you carried yourself as a champion. I think everybody watching this right now, the reason why they're watching live is because they respect you greatly. So I appreciate your time. Thanks for the advice for David. And hopefully we'll catch up again in the future, okay?
Brett, thanks, huh? Thanks for bringing me up and sort of refreshing our memories and our kind of connections, huh? Stay
Always
in touch,
good.
and yeah, I'm always at your disposal when you need me, huh?
I love that. Thank you. Appreciate it, Alex. All right. Take care, buddy. Bye.
Cheers, right? Bye.